Hello everyone, my name is Prajakta Dhake and I am from Department of Zoology KTHM College Nashik. Today I'll be taking a lecture for MSc Part 2, Semester 3. Subject is Soft Skills and chapter is Unit 2. We are dealing with stains and this is the 6th lecture of this particular series. Now today we'll be dealing with anionic dyes. Anionic dyes are applied from acidic solution. Used alone, an anionic dye will color almost all the components of a tissue, but differential staining effects can sometimes be obtained when you apply two or more dyes simultaneously or in sequence. A method of this type is Mann's eosin methylene blue. Nuclei, cartilage and collagen will acquire a blue color and cytoplasm are stained pink or red by eosin. Larger molecules of methyl blue are excluded by the smaller ones of eosin from supposedly dense network of cytoplasmic proteins. Collagen and chromatin with their presumed looser texture would admit molecules of both dyes. But eosin would diffuse out more rapidly than methylene blue when the sections are washed following immersions in the mixture. The influence of molecular size of the staining properties of a dye are of greater importance. Now, nuclear staining by methyl blue was studied by Mackay in 1962, who found that the presence of nucleic acids was necessary. He was unable to obtain evidence for binding of the dye by ionic attractions and suggested that compared methylene blue staining of nuclei was analogous to the direct staining of cotton. Mackay compared methyl blue with chlorazole black E, a direct azo dye. Chlorazole black E was thought to be bound to the tissues principally by electrovalent forces. Useful staining of nuclei and cytoplasm can be obtained with chlorazole E. This dye also stains elastin but probably by non-ionic mechanisms. Now let's move on to the specific dyes. First is Mann's eosin methyl blue. Now actually what it is going to stain is the nuclei and collagen will be stained blue, erythrocytes, cytoplasm and nucleoli will be stained red. With this method of Mann's eosin methyl blue, colors obtained are rather variable. Like Borell's methylene blue, this is quick look stain for determining which of the series of sections or specimens are worthy of more critical examination. Next one we have chlorazole black E. We have already discussed some points about this particular dye or stain. We have particularly discussed about it. So now what it is going to do is it is going to stain nuclei black, elastin black, other components of the tissue in various shades of grey. Cytoplasm often has greenish tinge and cartilage matrix is usually pinkish grey. Collagen is rather lightly stained. Cytoplasmic organelles such as mitochondria and secretory granules are well displayed in suitably fixed material. The color does not fade. Okay. So next one that we are going to deal with is metal complexing dyes. Now for nuclear staining, mixtures of modern dyes with appropriate metal salts are applied to the sections of the tissues. The mode of action of metal ions in binding dye molecules to their substances are important. There it is pointed out that some dye metal complexes such as that of chromium with gallocyanine behaves as if they were simple cationic dyes. For others, including hematine, brazilin, and iriochrome cyanine are, the interactions of dye, metal, and substrate are more complicated than the attraction of oppositely charged ions. These latter dyes are used to obtain selective staining of the chromatin. Okay, so let's see the first one of them, which is hematine. Now it is the principal product of oxidation of hematoxylene. It is used in solutions containing ferric, aluminium, or more rarely chromium ions. In other mixtures used only for specialized purposes, the metal ion may be lead, copper, zirconyl, or phosphotungstic acid. For nuclear staining, the solution must contain a considerably greater proportion of ferric or aluminium ions than that of the hematine, and it must be acidified. The word hematoxylene is commonly used in the names of staining method and mixture, even though hematine would be more correct. Solutions containing oxidized hematoxylin, which is hematine, and aluminium are used everywhere to stain nuclei of cells. The reaction of aluminium ions with hematine have been studied by Bettinger and Zimmermann, who found that cationic dimetal complex was present in acidic solutions. This complex was bound by DNA in sections of tissues, even though the pH was lower than that at which nucleic acids can be stained by ordinary cationic dyes. The heme-alum mixtures in common use contain a large excess of aluminium ions over hematine molecules. Aluminium ions have considerable affinity for DNA and prevent its subsequent staining by cationic dyes. Acids used to increase the selectivity of nuclear staining probably disrupts the bonding between aluminium ions and part of tissues other than chromatin rather than between the aluminium ions and the dye. Okay, now next one that we are going to see is alum hematine. Alum hematine staining may be progressive or regressive. The former is usually preferred, but if overstaining has to be corrected, the sections are differentiated in 70% or 95% alcohol containing little hydrochloric acid. Aqueous acid may also be used, but the differentiating action is then slower. Addition to the staining bath of more acid or more aluminium salt also suppresses the tendency to overstain, thereby making the mixture more selective as a progressive nuclear stain. The acid lability of nuclei stained by alum hematoxylin procedures counter staining with solutions that are more than acidic. Eosin is suitable, but Van Ginsen mixture is not. The aluminium hematine complex changes color from reddish brown to blue at pH 6. The later color is one desired, so stained sections are washed in tap water, to which the traces of alkali may have to be added. This process is called as bluing. An eosin counter stain imparts pink and red color. This was all from my side for this lecture. Thank you so much.